and welcome to Tarot Mini Reads, Reviews, Discusses, Monologues about everything and anything, and that's on period. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So I just finished one video that was the best top books in 2025 that I read, and now I am doing the sister video of the worst books that I read in 2025. So okay. When I say like they were the worst books, I don't mean like that and like they're not readable. I just mean like my enjoyment of the books were just not, I didn't have a good enjoyment of the book. Now, this is purely personal, doesn't mean, no shade to the author or whatever, but for a couple of reasons, the book or the story just did not work out for me. So I'm going to start with the most problematic. Well, actually, no, let's leave that for the last. I'm going to start from the one that I guess is just really still on my mind, is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonam-Young. One thing I will say is Hannah Bonam-Young is very popular because she made it to my best books of 2025. So it's so funny that I'm doing the video for worst books that I read in 2025, and this book is on it. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this book, right? It follows our characters that we actually meet in the first book, Out on a Limb. But I think at some point, maybe it was the story. I honestly, I don't know. Because this was about a married couple that were having issues in their marriage, and they were trying to make efforts to save their marriage. I think where I did not like the book was because the character, what's her name, Sarah, was written like a entitled child person, and that kind of rubbed me off. And Caleb was written as a whatever Sarah wants, I'm going to do it. Like he didn't have any backbone, and the most backbone he had was maybe when they had to fight. Oh God, I thinking about it, I'm like super stressed. And I was so, and I think where this even crashed the most was because I had read Out on a Limb. I was like, yeah, this is like my best, one of my top authors. It's going to be fantastic. And then no. So I don't know. Out of the Woods was just not it. I think a couple, and then it's like an outdoor story. No, just missed me with that. So the next book would be Yellowface by RF Kuang. This did not come out in 2025, by the way, but I read this in 2025. And there's a reason why I put off reading this book for so long. Because I've had this since whenever it came out in, I think 2022, or maybe right after COVID. Let me see. Oh, it came out 2023. Anyways, I've had this for a while, and let's say it came out 2023, and we're in 20, and I just read it now. Like that shows you that I was. But funny enough, 2025 is a year that I did read 2 RF Kuang books, and this one was just Catabasis was fantastic. I loved it. Ugh, Yellowface was just no. We follow this girl called Athena and June. So I think even I'm not gonna say too much. I have a dedicated video for this book because the book is so annoying. But I think what really happens is that even the come title, you already know you're gonna be pissed off. I think it's a book that you just go in knowing that you will be pissed off because it has to do with someone stealing intellectual property and trying to pass it off as theirs with no remorse. Like till literally the last page. No remorse from June. Ugh, I was so annoyed. So if one thing, she actually did a really good job by making me be so annoyed by the book. It's one of my top annoying books. But not because of the story was just that good. My blood was like boiling the whole time I was reading this book, and I finished it. I was just like, what is this existence really? But like I said, I read Catabasis Catabasis not right after, but a couple of months after, and it was a very enjoyable read. So I know like RF Kuang, her writing is good. It's just, the story was just like, help me, somebody. Okay, so the next book that I did not like that I read in 2025 was Daughter in Exile by Bisi Adjapon. I did a video about this book. This book is set in like in an African country. I forget the name, maybe Sierra Leone or I have to remember. But it's set in this, African country where there's this young girl who meets a Marine, a US Marine, and falls in love. And then she, relocates to the US to be with this guy, and then realizes that, yeah, all is not as it seems. Okay, so I think what I did not the writing was fantastic. Everything was good. Even when this girl was back in, let's just call it Senegal, I think. When she was back in Senegal, I loved that story. I loved it was so nice. I really enjoyed reading that part. I had an issue when, the story is brought to America. And I feel like at this point, there was a setting point where the author could have just drawn the line and be like, yeah, this is the end of the book. This is really it. But I felt like she just kept throwing everything she could at this character. And it just got to a point where I was just like, okay, what else is going to happen now? Like, what else? Like, if it was so much to the point where it was just not believable. And I just was like, no, it was just not it at all for me. Like, after a certain point, it was tiresome. It was cumbersome. It was annoying. So I feel like this was a book that I really enjoyed from inception. Like, the beginning, the idea, the story behind it was good. It just got overdone to a point where it was just like, it just was not believable anymore. And that's how a really good book got ruined, because she could have stopped at any point. She could have stopped. She kept going. So if you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into spoilers. I have a whole video on this book because I was so annoyed. I'll link it below. Okay, so my last book that I wanted to talk about, this is a very controversial one. I've heard a lot of different, like, it's the best. Oh, it's worse. Oh, it's not the best. But mostly, I think I've done a review about this book on my channel, and I've actually gotten a lot of people that, reached out and were like, I agree with your points. You make really excellent points. And that would be Dreamcount by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Again, she's a well-known author, Chimamanda. She wrote Half of a Yellow Sun and some other Purple Hibiscus. So she's very, she's pretty popular internationally and in Nigeria, where she's from. So I think one of the things that made this book that made it buzzworthy was because Chimamanda had not put out any novel in like 10 years. So it was a very anticipated read for a lot of people, myself included. Okay, I was excited for this book, and I was like, oh my God, I love the other books that she's written. Super excited. A lot of things has changed. I'll akin it to something like this. It's like Rihanna. We all love her. She's like I am a Navy fan. Okay. She has not put out any good music in God knows how many years. So imagine waking up and Rihanna's like, I'm putting out an album. Like, whoo, I am like, I will be the first. So you see where I'm getting with this, right? It was a very anticipated book. I know that if Rihanna does put out an album, it's going to be fantastic. Like, there's no comparison here. Okay. I just wanted to use that as a way for you to understand what I'm talking about. But, so I read Dreamcount and I did not like it. And I know why I didn't like it, because this book is just not for me. It's not something that how do I say it? I'm not familiar with the types of characters that she wrote about. So there's no common ground for me to even like sympathize and understand why they're acting the way they did. So that's one of the top reasons why I didn't like this book. I'm not saying the book is not good, but yeah, they were such unlikable characters. again, this is in addition to the fact that I am a character driven person. So I have to physically like a character to enjoy a book. Like liking a character equals enjoyment of book. So for me, this was like it was not good at all. And like I said, I was really expectant for this book. So I felt really bad that I struggled to finish the book. It was so hard. It was so tedious. I mean, there was just one story in the whole book, or one POV, that was really the reason why I even read the book. Unfortunately, that POV was all the way at the end. So you kind of had to read the bad part to get to that POV. But yeah, Dreamcount was just, it was not it. I'm so sorry. I have to say this, but some time have actually, like, time has actually passed since I read the book, and no, you know how some things be like, maybe with, you know, with time, this, no, nope, I will never read this book. In fact, I lent it out. I don't even know who has it, and I'm not like pressed to be like, can I have my book back? But really, whoever has my book, can you give it back to me? But yeah, so yeah, Dreamcount was not my best. Probably, I mean, a couple of people definitely enjoyed this book, and I'm not saying it's a bad book, but I have listed some points that just were top reasons as to why this book did not work out for me. But yeah, let me know some of the books that you read in 2025 that did not live to the hype or to your expectation, or just were not, they were even DNFs really. Cause, yeah, you should DNF. And that's one thing about me. I'm like, mama ain't raised no quitter. I keep going, but maybe I should be DNFing books. Yeah, we'll have to see. New year, new me, okay? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. 2026. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye.